good morning. I'm Danielle. It's nice to meet you. I know you sent in some pictures, but always lovely to meet a real person. Okay, so are you ready to start your personal shopping experience? This was your first time, right? Okay. Well, I selected a couple of items just for you based on what we talked about, and I took into account mostly the nature of the event and the color preferences that you mentioned. So I did vary a bit in style, but you will definitely see a common thread run through all of the items. I selected 4 or 5 dresses, and then as a bit of a wild card, I did throw in a skirt as well, just because it was so beautiful and it just spoke to me, and I just needed to show you. So, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. Okay? Do you have any questions for me right now? Good. Well, make yourself comfortable on the sofa. If you need anything, if you get thirsty, just let me know and I'll have someone run out to get you something. Okay? Okay, this is supposed to be a very enjoyable, relaxing experience, so just let me know if you need anything. Okay, great. So excited. Good. Okay, let's get started with the first item. Okay, so this is the first dress that I have selected for you. It is a strapless dress, and it is a princess dress, so it goes out at the waist. It should sit right around your natural waist, so it is very flattering and it shows off your waistline while at the same time hiding anything that you would want to hide below the waistline. So this is also a very comfortable dress if you will be eating and drinking during the event. Now, as an extra, very popular bonus, this dress does have pockets. So, on both sides, and they are quite deep, so they can hold quite a bit. So that is always a benefit, because it means that you can go even smaller in your purse, which really makes for quite a few options on that side of things. So this is color-wise right in the area that you directed me to. This is a black dress. This is a black dress with these beautiful golden details. So we have these rather big swirls, very feminine, very beautiful, and they are embroidered with these, it is sort of a cream, a glistening, shiny cream. It's just like sunlight falling onto the dress, and then on the edges there is this golden metallic thread, just creating these extra just pops of light. It has a zipper in the back. It is a visible zipper. The zipper is quite beautiful in gold. You can take a look. It does not go all the way down, but it goes down quite a bit, and the convenience of that is that you can step into the dress. So you can have your hair done, your makeup done, just be completely perfect, and then you can step into the dress without ruining any of that. So that, I feel, is a huge benefit, a benefit that I believe there will be other items that have that same benefit. There will be. Okay, so lengthwise, as you can see, this is a bit longer. This is a slight high-low dress, but the change from high to low is quite subtle. So as you can see, it's not a big change at all. So in the front, the dress will cut just below your knees, and in the back it will fall about midway your calves, based on your height. I could just quickly check the difference if you like. Yeah, that's no problem. I'm just going to measure from the waist down in front. Okay, so from the waist down in the front, that is 76 centimeters. So let's see from the waist down in the back. So from the waist down in the back, it is 80 centimeters. So in total, The high-low difference is 13 centimeters, so about 5 inches. So that's not that drastic at all. So very classy still. Okay, so this is our first dress. What do you think? That's great. Okay, wow. That's great. Well, I suggest we keep going, but it must be quite a relief for you as well to know that we already have just a very good option. Okay? Okay. So we have this one, and we'll look at the rest, but this one will be the dress to beat. Okay, good. Let me get the next dress. So this is the second dress that I have to show you. Right? I agree. So this is a beautiful jacquard dress. You did mention that you are quite a fan of jacquard, so that is why I selected this one, even though it is not black. So yes, this is a very dark blue with a dark gold jacquard over it. Now, if you look closer, you will see that the blue fabric is textured itself as well. So it's quite velvety, but not like a smooth velvet. There are these lines running across it. So that makes it very interesting, in my opinion. Aside from obviously the gorgeous embroidery on this dress. Very beautiful. It's all perfectly centered with this beautiful central focal point here that moves into these beautiful details on the side all the way down to the bottom. So this dress, quite the opposite from the previous dress, is very covered in the neckline. It has a very high neckline with a little bit of a collar here and little sleeves. It is done up with a zipper in the back. This is an invisible zipper, and all the way up top there are 2 fabric covered buttons to close this little collar beautifully against your neck. So again, and at first I was mistaken with the previous dress, but this is also one you can step into. So the zipper goes down quite a bit, so you can have everything done up beautifully and step into this dress. Yeah, I think that's very convenient when you need it for an event. because you want everything done and you don't want to be wearing the dress for hours already while you fuss over your hair and face. Yes, you want to step into it and leave just fresh and wrinkle-free. This one doesn't wrinkle, however, so the fabric that I mentioned, that interesting velvety look, it doesn't wrinkle at all, so that's very convenient, especially if you need to travel with the dress. No pockets on this one, no. It does have a similar cut. It is another princess dress with a natural waist. Yes. This one goes in a little less tightly, so that other one is more structured on the top because it is strapless. So that one will really pull you in. This one leaves a little bit more space. So you will feel less constricted as well, but perhaps less supported also. Yes. And one other important factor is this fabric is very heavy and very hot. Yeah, so depending on if you will be in air-conditioned environments most of the time, that is definitely something to take into account. It's quite hot. So this one should fall either right at the knee or just below the knee. I'm just going to measure quickly to give you a point of reference with the last one. So just from the waist down. Yes, so this one measures at 64 centimeters from the waist down, so a tad shorter than the front of the last dress, so it should fall just about at the knee. Okay. Any questions about this dress? Yes, this one is dry clean only. Yes, with this fabric, there's just no other possibility. Okay, so what are you thinking on this option? Okay. You know, actually me too. I'm also a bit of a sweater, so yeah. I must say though, you won't have any visible sweat in this dress. Okay. Okay. Good. Okay, here we are with a personal favorite of mine. This beautiful little dress. It has another high neckline, quite covered up, with a little collar and sleeves as well, a little longer than the previous dress. The waist is a little lower as well, but still right around that natural waistline. And then the skirt. It has such a beautiful full skirt. So technically it is a princess cut, but this is headed towards a bubble skirt. It is very stiff, very structured, so it will keep that very voluminous look as you wear it. So that will even further emphasize your tiny waist and hide everything else you may want to hide. So that is definitely a benefit. So interestingly, in the back there is an opening. Hang on, let me show you. So this is the dress from the back. So it has this beautiful open back. So there are two fabric covered buttons on the top to connect the little collar, and then the dress is closed with an invisible zipper in the back. So very beautiful, very elegant. It might raise a bit of a challenge figuring out the bra situation, but we can definitely help you there should you need to. Okay. So another black dress as requested with gold details and a beautiful, beautiful embroidered print. I just absolutely love it. There are no words. So the color that pops out at you the most is obviously this red here and on the sleeves, and then there is a lot of gold, regular yellow gold, but also bronze, white gold. It is just beautiful, and then there are some blue, pink details as well. It's just so beautiful. The black fabric itself is very satiny, but strong and thick and structured, so it will not show anything through the dress. So beautiful. You will be the talk of the evening with this dress, I guarantee. No pockets in this one, so that may be a little downside. I shouldn't have led with the pockets. They're in your head now. What may be a little bit of a bigger downside than the lack of pockets can be the sleeves. So they do reach a little bit longer than many sleeves, and because the fabric is so stiff and structured, the sleeves are fairly restricting. So you will find that they limit your movement. You will not be lifting your arms up completely wearing this dress. So I find this a very small price to pay to look this beautiful. So obviously you can step into this dress as well. The buttons and the zipper open, so you can put this on by stepping into it. Thankfully, because it is a bit of an impossibility to do your hair when you're wearing this dress. So it is maybe a small step back in time to when women's clothing was meant to be quite limiting. But again, small price to pay. Look at it. What do you think? This one is the shortest one thus far. This will end above the knee, quite like the skirt that I am wearing right now. So it will measure a bit longer, but because it is so voluminous and poofy, your knees will definitely be visible in this dress. I wouldn't say that it is uncomfortably warm. It will obviously be a bit warmer than the first one because you are more covered up, but the fabric is comparable in thickness. Okay, well, keep it in mind. I have a couple more things to show you. Okay, let's move on. Okay, this is the final dress that I have to show you. A bit of a change from the first three because it is so much lighter. So you did mention black and white with gold details, so this is still right within your description. It's just so elegant, don't you think? So, unlike the previous dresses, this is a pencil dress or a wiggle dress, depending on how you like to call them, which means that it is very figure hugging. So it has a natural waist and it hugs the curves, hugs your hips and your legs. There is a slit in the back to ease movement, ease walking. It's not a high slit, but just enough so you won't feel too limited wearing it. It has this beautiful neckline somewhere between a V shape and a sweetheart sort of situation. And it has these off-the-shoulder sleeves. So these can also be a little bit limiting, but it won't be as noticeable as with the previous dress. So the fabric, it is a off-white ivory sort of color that is covered with a golden mesh fabric. So if you look a bit closer, you don't see any uncovered white. So it's entirely covered by this mesh, and the gold thread, metallic gold thread, is sewn onto that mesh fabric. So it does have a underskirt as well, so that means that it is not see-through at all. I still would not advise you to wear dark undergarments underneath it, just because when the light hits just so, anything light will be a bit revealing, but with lighter undergarments, nude, you won't see anything, so you don't have to worry about that at all. The fabric is quite thick, quite structured, so you are covered, literally. So the pattern, as you can see, are these beautiful big flowers all over. So it's just beautiful. This one will fall below the knee. Would you like me to measure? Yes? No problem. So from the waist down, yeah, 67 centimeters again, so that is the same as the first dress in front. So like I said, a bit below the knee. Okay, so unlike the other ones that I showed you, which were mainly the princess style, this one will not be so forgiving if you need to be eating and drinking a lot. Because this one is quite tight, there is no give in the material, there is no stretch. Okay, so do take that into account, but maybe that is a plus. Sometimes we could use something holding us back from indulging. So this one has an invisible zipper in the back. The zipper doesn't go quite as low as with the other dresses. So whether or not you will be able to step into this one is largely, will largely be up to your body shape. If your hips permit, then you will be able to, but I feel like in most cases this will be one that you have to put on from the top. Yes. Well, our model here was able to step into it, but she doesn't have the widest hips here, how does she? It's so beautiful. I could look at this one just all day. I feel like I don't give this one enough credit. I should get it out more. I do understand if it's a longer event, a princess cut will be a little bit more comfortable. I get it. Okay. Well, good news then, because I do have one more thing to show you. Okay, sit tight. So here we have our final option. Any first responses? Isn't it beautiful? I had to show you. I had to. Okay, so this is the skirt that I mentioned. This is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fabric. And it is like a princess cut as well. Quite structured, poofing out quite a bit. This brings us back into hiding whatever we want to hide territory. So to show you, I just paired it with this really simple black top. Because I did not want to take away from the focus of the skirt. Now, if we do go with this option, I do have several other options in terms of a top that we could see with this one. So this one is just to give you an idea of what it could look like, but you are not stuck to this option. So let's focus on the skirt. So it's a black fabric, quite satiny, but you actually see very little of the uncovered fabric, just here and there, because there is gold and black embroidery on it. So all of these shimmers you see here are gold, two tones of gold actually, and black. So there's just some parts here and there that are just the black fabric. So it's just beautiful. I don't know exactly what I would call this print. To me, it looks like feathers, but you could see waves in there, or even the brushes of the strokes of a paintbrush. Do you see? So kind of left up to you what you see in it, but it is quite busy, quite covered, and definitely draws you in and draws the eye. No pockets. I'm thinking about the same length as the first one. So maybe just below the knee, maybe more on the knee. I think this one is slightly shorter. But to be fair, you do have a little bit more flexibility with the skirt. So right now I have pinned it up a little bit. So you could go higher if you wanted to, but you could definitely go lower. So this, I pinned it to where I feel like it would be most flattering, but you could go little bit lower. So that will obviously change the length as well. So I think where I pinned it, it is just about on the knee. Okay. Yeah, I think so too. Okay. So that complicates things a bit for you. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to make things difficult. Okay, well, I think that we should then move on to the next step in the process where you try on your favorites. So I believe that first dress was a big hit. And then the third one and the skirt. Okay, so we will try those on and hopefully that will make your decision easier. Okay. What did you think of the items I selected? Okay. Good, good. No, you're welcome. I love it when I get it right. Okay. Well, you can wait here just for a couple minutes while I get the dressing room ready for you with the necessary items. Okay? Just a sec.